Hi, everybody. So it's the first time that I'm streaming to multiple locations at the same time. You're here on the YouTube Maximize Your Medicare channel, as well as the Facebook closed community, which is the Maximize Your Medicare community. I didn't have time to dress it up and put all sorts of, balloons and rainbow stickers on things. So I thought just to dive into it for a public service announcement. And this guy kind of comes back to some very, very important things, especially in the day and age where there's a gallon with no end in sight. So, help with Medicare costs, what to know. This comes from the New York Times. You can see it here, the New York Times. What it really is about is the fact that there is financial assistance for persons struggling with Medicare premium costs. And there are two types of programs too, right? The first one, and let me just hide this because I'm bad at video. So let's just call it Medicare Savings Program, right? And so now what I'm saying is that the Medicare Savings Program actually helps you with Part B premium, Part B, and also for those who qualify for Part A, but have didn't enroll correctly. Your state works with the federal Medicare system to see whether or not you can qualify for Part A, and more importantly and more pervasively, Part B premium. Okay. That is handled separately by your state, the Medicaid system. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be full-blown Medicaid. There are many different levels of financial assistance. They are a means test. So it's not only income, but it's also means tested. Okay. So that's number one. The second one is called Extra Help. Extra Help is separate. It is not precisely the same. Extra Help is administered by the federal government. Your eligibility is governed by the Social Security Administration, right, which is the federal government. These two programs do not your qualification into both programs is not necessarily jointly done, meaning that you could qualify for your Medicare Savings Program. If you do, then for sure you will qualify for Extra Help. However, it's not the same the other way around. It's not the same the other way around. So there's my message there, which is that the two programs, Medicare Savings Program and Extra Help, are administered separately. Now, why am I making such a fuss? And why did I decide just to hit post today here? And here it is. KFF is Kaiser Family Foundation, which is amongst, if I have to choose amongst two think tanks regarding Medicare information for people in a as best they can a non-political way, Kaiser Family Foundation would certainly be one of two, the other one being the Commonwealth Fund. This is of the reason for today's broadcast. KFF estimates that only 50% to 65% of the Medicare beneficiaries with incomes low enough to qualify for the Medicare Assistance Program are enrolled, and 55 to 70% of those eligible for Extra Help are signed up. This cannot be the case. And by when I say that this cannot be the case, I shake my head, meaning, please, this is the reason for the public service announcement, is that, this book tells you about these programs. Okay. There are special enrollment rights if you are able to qualify for one of these two programs. For example, late enrollment penalties are waived. This is of tremendous help, right? Because what ends up happening is people delay enrolling in Part B or they delay enrolling in Part D as a result of the fact that they don't want to pay the late enrollment penalty because they may have not done it correctly in the past. So not only is there assistance for the premium, but in addition to that, the late enrollment penalties are waived. In addition to that, there are expanded enrollment rights, right, which is that normally there's the annual election period, which runs from October 15th through December 7th. There's the Medicare Advantage disenrollment period, which is the first quarter. There's the general election period, which is in the first quarter. There are all of these complicated enrollment windows. If you qualify for either of these two programs, you also have the quarterly right? If you get extra help, if you qualify for extra help, and as I said, extra help is the one that is administered by the federal government. If you qualify for extra help, then you have the quarterly right to change Part D plans. You also have the quarterly right to change amongst Medicare Advantage plans. So you have once a quarter in the Q1, Q2, Q3, and you get to change during the annual election period. This stuff is so valuable to so many. And yet the reason for today's public service announcement is because, as you can see by these statistics, that only 50 to 65% are getting help towards Medicare premiums. Only 50 to 70% who could have been eligible for extra help are signed up correctly. That leaves a third of those people who should qualify and get notable amounts of financial assistance don't get it. To give you an idea on how much money this is, right? 170.30 for Part B. Plus, let's call it $33 for Part D. Equals is greater than $200 a month. This gives you an idea about how big this number is. $200 a month times 12, $2,400 a year of possible financial assistance that a third of the people who could have been receiving this aren't. So while in other locations, I'm speaking about complicated financial topics and complicated financial contracts, of which I'm strictly qualified to describe. That is true. That is certainly all true. A big part of Maximize Your Medicare is for the fact that the overall Medicare population doesn't exactly know how to get the most from their federal benefits. I'm Jay. Please like the video. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. And for those persons on the community, you also can go to the YouTube channel, see lots more videos there, and be sure to invite your friends to the community.
Financial matters are kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. No matter what stage of life, whether you're a millennial, whether you're Gen X, whether you're in retirement. Jay's Corner is the name of the YouTube channel, as well as the name of the newsletter. You know, I know it's natural that people shake their head and say, well, you know, it shouldn't be this way, or I don't understand why it has to be so complicated. I'm just going to tell you that That's not, that's a different channel. That's a different topic. That's a different discussion entirely. I'm not out here trying to cast judgment on your individual jigsaw puzzle, how the pieces fit or don't. What I do know is the amount of noise that you're hit with is incredible. This is the world that we have. Let's try to do the best with the rules as given. Jay's Corner is here to help.